Hey you guys, welcome back to Gaming with DNT. My name is Thomas, and I have crap in my chest and cough a lot. Um, but we are playing Trails in the Sky today. But Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. As far as I know though, like the Legend of Heroes, that like, it's not a subtitle, but like, I don't know what the actual word for it is. But that doesn't really have anything to do with anything, like, as far as, like, these series of games go. The series is, like, 9 games, I think, or 10. I'm not 100% sure. I know there's 3 Trails on the Sky games. Right now, there's 3 Trails of Cold Steel games. And I believe there's 2 or 3 in a series that's only in Japan right now. That's the like Crossbelt arc, but they're all connected. But yeah, I got into the series through Trails of Cold Steel. I actually had played that on PlayStation Now back a while back. I was like doing a free trial to see if my internet could even handle it, which it can and can't at the same time. But I saw it. It was like intriguing to me, so I started playing it. And it wasn't until I found out that there was a second one that I found out that it was part of like this huge series of games. And I'm totally in love with Trails of Cold Steel. So I'm really, I got a lot of high hopes for the Trails in the Sky games. And hopefully I can get English patched versions of the Crossbell Arc games. So fingers crossed for that. But I have already started playing this a good little bit. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into this. Get to more of my wonderful voice acting. Daddy's really late. I even got a message from the guild saying he'd be home today, too. And Shara's gone traveling around the kingdom with some kind of training. I'm so bored. Maybe I'll just practice with my staff a bit before dinner. Hey, I'm home. Daddy! Sorry to have kept you waiting, Estelle. Did you take good care of the house while I was away? Yeah, of course I did. Did you run into any trouble, Daddy? You didn't get hurt fighting the bad monsters, did you? Nope, I'm fit as a fiddle. That reminds me though, I brought you a present. Really? What kind of present? A new fishing pole? Sneakers? Something for my training? Maybe I raised you wrong, Estelle. Aren't little girls supposed to like clothes and jewelry? I like pretty clothes, but they just get dirty. And jewelry breaks when you go play outside with it on. Anyway, Daddy, what's with the big blanket? Is that my present? Oh, you're a sharp one. Now, why don't you... What? Now, why don't you come have a look? What? Well, here you are. Quite a handsome boy, don't you think? What? Why is that my present a boy? Don't make such a fuss or you'll wake him up. Wake him up? You mean he's still alive? Looks kind of dead if you ask me. I've treated his wound, so he should be in stable condition. In the meantime, however, we'll need to let him rest. I'll put him to bed, so if you wouldn't mind heating a kettle of water on the stove, I'd appreciate it. Okay. He sure sounds sleepy. I'm sorry, you guys. He sure sleeps soundly. And he almost looks like the same age as me. This is the first time I've ever seen black hair like that, too. He certainly does have a nice head of hair, and a pair of amber eyes to go with it. Hmm. That's nice and all, but how about you come clean and fess up? Fess up? Yeah, who is this kid anyway? And why is he hurt? Why did you bring him to our house? Is he an illegitimate child or something? Did you betray Mommy? Where have you been picking up these kinds of words? No doubt from Sherazard, I assume. Yep, that's right. For heaven's sake, that girl is going to get me into trouble one of these days with all her nonsense. Actually, I just met this boy while I was out on business, and I don't even know his name. You mean Bracer business? Something like that. Oh, look. Huh? He's waking up. Wow, his eyes really are the color of amber. Where am I? So, you're awake now, are you? Welcome to my humble home. You'll be safe here, so please try to rest. What are you trying to pull? Huh? You must be out of your mind. Why? Why didn't you just leave me to die? Why? Now that's a question I don't know how to answer. Does things just work out that way work for you? Don't toy with me, Cassius Bright. Do you have any idea what you're getting yourself involved in? Hey! What the fuck? You're sure shouting a lot for someone who's supposed to be hurt. Running your mouth like that is just gonna make it longer for your body to heal. And just who are you supposed to be? I'm Estelle. Estelle Bright. She's my daughter. Don't you remember me telling you that I have a daughter your age? Now that you mention it. Wait a minute, don't try to change the subject. Oh. Holy shit. Ow! Quit yelling. Alright already. You jumping on me like that isn't going to make me heal any faster either. I don't hear you yelling again, do I? Look, jumping on me like that is just going to make things worse. Do I hear yelling? I think that's the way you're supposed to do that anyway. Never mind, just forget it. As a word of advice, it would be wise not to argue with Estelle while you're in this house. Even I wouldn't stand a chance if I made her mad enough. Yeah, I can see that. By the way, aren't you forgetting something? Huh? Your name, you know, that thing that people call you? I told you mine already, so don't you think it would be unfair and impolite not to tell me yours? It seems like the logical thing to do, if you ask me. Trying to hide it now would only serve to your detriment. Fine. My name is... what's his name? Ah, so bright in here. I can't make a yawning noise. I slept like a rock. That must mean it's Dad's turn to cook this morning. I wonder if that means Joshua's still in bed. Guess that's enough. Well, I guess I'd better get ready myself then, too. Nice, Joshua. Bravo. Good morning, Estelle. I hope I didn't wake you. Nah, I was already up when I heard you start to play. Can't believe how awake you are, though. Even the roosters still have bags under their eyes. Not that I mind, but that siren song of yours gently lulling this beautiful woman from her slumber. Fuck. What do you mean, woman? We're the same age, and I'm hardly a man. Just, now... now, how wrong you are, Joshua. We may be the same age, but I am clearly the woman of the house, and that makes you something like my loyal follower, wouldn't you agree? Yeah, how fortunate for you. You could at least try and sound a tiny bit sincere. It really is a nice tune, though, cheerful, yet somehow wistful. I like your other songs too, of course, but this one's my favorite. What's it called again? The Whereabouts of Light. That's right, The Whereabouts of Light. I wish I could play the harmonica like you, Joshua. Sadly, it's a lot harder than it looks. Compared to what it takes to use a staff, I think the harmonica is much easier. It's really just a matter of concentration. You're probably right. I guess my problem is just that I don't do something that if I don't do something... Shit. You're probably right. I guess my problem is that if I don't do something that uses my whole body, I start to feel drowsy. Okay, playing the harmonica is fine and all, but how about getting some exercise too? All your hobbies are sitting around kind of stuff like reading and music. No girl is going to be impressed with just that. Well, excuse me for being so unpopular with the ladies. Anyway, I feel like I should be the one lecturing you about your hobbies. I mean, what kind of boy wants a girl who loves fishing, collecting bugs, and has a fetish for sports shoes? That's enough about hobbies for now. For your information, I graduated from bug collecting a long time ago. Really, I'll believe that when I start finding beetles in the hallway. Hey, Estelle, Joshua. Morning, Dad. Good morning, Dad. Is breakfast ready? It's ready and waiting. Why don't the both of you hurry on down before it gets cold? Okay, I'm on my way. I did a weird voice. Thanks for the grub, Dad. Boy, am I stuffed. Are you eating or inhaling, Estelle? Like people say, kids who eat and sleep a lot grow a lot. Well, make sure you get enough to eat, but don't forget to pour that energy into your work, too. That reminds me, you two are finishing up your training at the guild today, aren't you? That's right, it'll be a review of everything we've learned up to this point. And once we're finished, we'll be bracers just like you, Dad. That means I'm not going to let you treat me like a kid anymore either. Excuse me. You still lack understanding, Estelle. You can only become a junior bracer in the beginning, or in other words, a trainee. If you want to be treated like an adult, then you should work extra hard in your training to become a full-fledged bracer. Well, I'm not afraid of a little hard work. Just you watch and see what I'm capable of, Dad. I'll be so successful that it won't be long before I pass you, too. That's the spirit. Let's see what you're made of, shall we? Let's not start a rivalry here, you two. And Estelle, keep your focus on the task at hand. We have a test later on today, remember? Huh? Wait, what test? Please tell me you didn't forget about the test, Estelle. You know, the one that checks whether or not we mastered the skills we're learning and training. Don't you remember Shara saying that if we failed, we'd be stuck with a ton of extra homework? Crap, I totally forgot. Now that you mention it, I guess I kind of remember her saying something like that. Don't sweat it, I'm sure we'll manage somehow or another. I honestly don't know how you've survived this long, Estelle. Your brain is like a sieve. Papa is sad. How could any child of mine end up with such a careless, over-optimistic personality? You're the one that raised me, so I definitely got it from you. I swear, the two of you act so much alike, but whatever. We should probably head over to the guild soon, Estelle. Shara's going to be waiting there for us. Sounds like a plan. You know how crazy she gets when... Nah, fuck, I hit the A button too soon. Oh, I forgot. It's my turn to cook dinner tonight. So is there anything in particular you like to eat, Dad? Any requests? Something I'd like to eat, huh? How about Rouen-style scalloped fish and a balsamic vinegar sauce? What's that? I think that's a little more than Estelle's cooking skills can handle, or our stomachs. You're right. I just wanted to see what kind of reaction I could get. I'll just have the usual fried fish and omelet. No need for anything fancy, but do try to make something edible. How rude. I can't actually say he's wrong. Actually, I do have one favor to ask before you head out. I'd like you to pick me up a copy of the liberal news from the general goods store. They're supposed to be getting the latest edition in today. Got it. One copy of the liberal news from the general goods store. 500 Mira. If there's any money left over, you can have it as your allowance. However, that means no wasteful spending. Alright, thanks, Dad. Okay, we're heading out. See you later, Dad. Work hard and give Shara my regards. So, well, I didn't realize there's going to be a huge chunk of just reading, or me reading and voice acting stuff. I don't know if there's anything you can actually get. That goes outside, I think. Upstairs. No. Can't open that. Oh, what'd I do? Okay. This is the balcony. Is anything up here? Nope. I had to do some creative shit with the controls, but got our regular equipment status. Orbment is something they'll get into a little bit later, but this is pretty much like you put these into your slots and you get abilities, item tactics, all that good stuff. So I'm pretty sure there's not anything to find for a while. We're just going to be pushing through the story this video, I guess. I don't even know if we get into any real combat for a little bit either. Looks like we made it. Looks like we made good time. Not too early or late either. We just barely graduated from Sunday school. I never dreamed we'd have to study so hard to become bracers. Well, you're in luck. Today is our last day of training. Truth be told, though, you're the one who signed up to be a bracer in the first place, so I don't know why you'd expect to get away with any less effort. Oh yeah, I guess I did. Alright then, let's get to it and make it through the last hazing from Sheriff. You look ready to me. Let's go meet with Sheriff at the Bracer Guild over there then. So this is the map. We're going to that red building over there. Don't think there's anything. You can go talk to the people at the shops. This is the arms store. Top of the morning to you kids. Good morning, Mr. Elger. Good morning, sir. Well, you're up rather early, aren't you? Correct me if I'm wrong, but today is your last day of training, isn't it? I seem to remember you saying something about it the last time I had you run the store. Yes, that's right. Well, yeah, that's Elger. I see. Well, I'm sure you do just fine, Joshua. Now, Estelle, on the other hand, I've got good reason to worry. She's always been a bit scatterbrained ever since she was a child. Probably all the knocks she took to the head playing with the boys. Really? So I guess that scatterbrain trait isn't something new, huh? I'll give you a head injury if you don't shut up, and don't call me scatterbrained. Okay, you two, let's not fight now. And shouldn't you be getting over to the guild? Like I said, you can look at the shop, but you don't have any money, so you can't really buy anything. Much like many RPGs do at the beginning. Excuse me. And go to the general goods store and get the newspaper. Good morning, Mr. Renan. Hello there, Estelle and Joshua. You're up rather early today. Did you... I think I'm just using the same voice as Elger. But, you're up rather early today. Did you come to buy a new pair of shoes? Now that you mention it, are there any new ones in stock? You know, like the newest Stregas? Unbelievable. You're actually already forgotten why we came in here to begin with. We're not here to shop. We're supposed to buy a copy of the liberal news for Dad, right? Of course. You've always been a big collector of those shoes, haven't you, Estelle? I'm afraid that the new Stregas aren't out yet. If you're after the latest issue of the Liberal News, though, I should have them in around noon. Noon, huh? That's right, in the middle of our training at the guild house. We'll stop by again after our training is over. Sure, I'll have them for you. I'll be waiting. Shit. Anyway. Again, don't know. Talk to her. Or him, I'm not sure. The morning air is so crisp and fresh. Let's see, it's about time I water my lovely flowers. Give her an old lady voice. Go ahead and go to the Bracer Guild. What voice should I give her? There you are. Good morning, Estelle. Good morning, Joshua. Morning, Ina. Good morning. Is Shara here already? Ah, fuck, I already forgot what I did with her. Yes, she's waiting for you upstairs. Once you finish today's training, you'll finally be recognized as members of the Bracer Guild. Good luck to the both of you. Thanks. We'll do our best. I don't know what voice to give her. I'd go with Anna's voice just because I don't have a lot. The Star and the Hanged Man, the Hermit and the Magician, and last of all, inversion to the Wheel of Fortune. This is a difficult combination. How should I interpret this? Good morning, Sheriff. Well, if it isn't Estelle and Joshua, this is a rare occasion for the both of you to show up so early. And since my last day of training, I figured why not? I'm ready to get this show on the road and become a bracer myself. I'll give you credit for your enthusiasm, but I'm going to work you hard today in every way I can think of to make sure that high-spirit attitude of yours holds up. I hope you're ready. I can feel that enthusiasm dropping already. Quiet, you! Every time I teach you something, you somehow manage to forget it. This training is my way of teaching you to keep some of that information in your head instead of letting it dribble out of your ears like it usually does. Ah, Joshua, Shara's picking on me. Don't worry, Shara. While Estelle may hate studying and rarely ever does her homework, actually is overly naive and has a tendency to stick her nose in everything. Her instincts are sharp, so I'm sure she'll pick up on how to use an ornament with some practice. Eventually, probably. I guess there's not much I can do except hope for the best. Hold on a second, Joshua. Somehow I get the feeling that you weren't standing up for me. Well, that's odd. I'm positive I described all your best traits accurately. Whatever. By the way, Shara, what were you trying to predict with your tarot cards? Your face was really intent. Oh, this? I was just trying to get a vague reading about what might happen in the near future. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have been in the right mindset to interpret the cards correctly. You couldn't read the cards? Now that's surprising to hear. Actually, there's more profound the meaning of those cards, the more difficult they become to interpret. But that's not important right now. I think it's time we start your final training. Holy shit, okay. So much reading. I'll give you a brief rundown of all the information we've covered in your previous training. This is the minimum level of knowledge that bracers should have in order to function effectively. And Estelle, make sure you pay attention, especially close attention to what I'm going to say. Yeah. About ornaments. Ornaments are mechanical devices which operate by using what is known as orbal energy. A variety of effects can be produced depending on their structure and the type of quartz or processed septium installed. Although it's only been about 50 years since their invention, these devices play an integral part of all facets of life, from lights heaters, and other everyday products to weapons, magic, and even airships. In connection, this technological reform is commonly known as the Orbital Revolution. Bracers are investigative and combat specialists who work to protect civilians and maintain the stability of their respective regions. They aid the community in various ways, such as exterminating monsters, preventing crime, finding lost items, and escorting people and goods. The Bracer Guild, which has established branches across the continent, manages the affairs of the Bracers in each region. The Kingdom of Liberal, in which we live, sits on the western half of the Zemurian continent and abounds with nature and deep-rooted traditions. Liberal is proud to be one of the leading producers of septium on the continent and is known for its high level of technology used to develop orbits. Orbit technology has always been a key pillar of support for Liberal in protecting its independence as it contended with neighboring nations. 10 years ago, when Liberal was invaded by the Erebonian Empire, it was the use of orbital-powered airships that saved the kingdom from defeat. Consequently, even now, our relationship with the Empire is somewhat sensitive, but thanks to the Queen's political finesse, Liberal enjoys peace. Thank God that's all up. Let's see, since we've got the mountain of stuff to do today, I'll let you off the hook this time with a condensed review. I'm going to speed things up now and move on to the practical portion of your training. Cheryl? How was today's practical training? Any different from the training we've done before? Since it's practical, that means you will be experiencing things firsthand. Therefore, I'm going to have the both of you run through everything as if this were a real Bracer job. So, what you're saying is, there won't be any studying at a desk involved? Yes, that's exactly what I'm saying. This time, you'll have to go out and make a physical effort to accomplish your task. I'll make sure to have you work up a sweat, so I hope you're ready. Yes, that's seriously just what the doctor ordered. I didn't know what I was going to do if I had to sit another day with my tush parked at a desk. I guess I got all worried for nothing. Well, suddenly you're all bright and cheerful, so let's hope that smile on your face lasts until the end of today's training. Okay, let's get cracking on your first objective, shall we? Let's have it. Your first objective will be to confirm the details of the job you will be performing. But before that, there's something that we need to give the both of you. I don't know, are they ready? Yes, they are. Alright, you two. Get one for each of yourselves. Talk to Ina. These are important, so make sure not to lose them. Bracer notebooks. Bracer notebooks serve as the official way to record the status of your current jobs. While anything you may hear or anything that you may find and wear, these kinds of trivial things can often become clues. No matter how insignificant something may seem, always write it down. Understood. Crap, this sounds like it's going to be a pain. Oh. Please tell me it was my ears playing tricks on me, because I swear I only got one response. I'm sure that there were two. Keeping an accurate account of events is an important duty for all Bracers. So get with the program and stop trying to make this out to be more than it really is, Estelle. Okay, I got it. Make sure you do. Alright then, let's begin. Look over by the door. You see that there's a bulletin board standing there? First, I want you to go and check the job description posted there. The bulletin board is approached, Just look at the bulletin board. Training retrieval. Charizard, 500 Mira. Direct request. I guess that means you have to talk to her. This training will involve searching the sewers beneath Roland's and bring back the contents of a chest. Details of the job confirmed on the bulletin board and other important events automatically recorded in the bracer notebook. Easy. Very good. Looks like you were able to see what was posted without any trouble. Checking the bulletin board is one of the most basic functions a bracer performs on their job. Checking regularly to see whether or not there are any urgent tasks which need immediate attention is also an important duty for bracers. Man, all this talk about duty is starting to cramp my style. Sure, there are lots of rules to follow, but there's an equal level of responsibility for the jobs themselves. I think being a bracer calls for much more than just someone with a half-hearted attitude. I guess you're right. I'll just have to get more motivated. Had a change of heart, have you? You betcha. Well, before... Sorry. Well, before all that motivation sneaks off somewhere, let's get to work on your next task. What will we be doing this time? We'll be heading across the street to Mr. Melda's Orbital factory and learning about how to use its services. He has graciously taken time out of his work schedule to explain things, so make sure to be on your best behavior. Okay. Here's where you will learn how to use an Orbital factory's services. In an Orbital factory, you can modify your orbments and synthesize support quartz in order to use Orbital arts. Arts have a wider range of effects, and if mastered, can be extremely helpful. The bracer's business is a pretty risky occupation, so the guild has had a long-standing relationship with these Orbital factories. Anyway, this is as much as I can explain. I'll leave the technical details to the expert. So, Mr. Meldas, if you wouldn't mind taking over from here.
No problem. Leave everything to me. So, what is it that you would like to know about? Ornaments are mechanical devices which exhibit an array of effects through the installation of various types of quartz. By definition, this means that lights, airship engines, and so on are also types of ornaments. However, the ones we will be discussing today are battle ornaments, which enhance the user's physical abilities and make it possible to use magic. Since each ornament is adjusted to match the owner's personal aptitude, the structures for these devices also differ for each owner. Simply put, the shape of the fixed elemental slots and lines which connect them vary. At any rate, that's the layman's explanation. In order to install quartz, you must first have an open slot. By default, the essential slot is open, but the other slots must be open at an Orbital factory like this. They'll take a fair amount of steppits too. EP, which is needed for magic, will also see a max increase according to number of open slots. I recommend opening them all as soon as possible. So what is it that you would like to know about? Simply put, orbital arts are magic which can be discharged exclusively through the use of battle ornaments. In other words, a number of particular effects can be produced by using the orbital energy stored within these mechanical devices. Since orbital arts can be a mouthful, they are almost universally referred to as arts. Probably ought to have been called that from the get-go. There are several types of arts, but in order to be able to use them, the corresponding quartz must first be synthesized at an Orbital factory. Ornaments are also set up so that once a particular quartz is installed into a slot, the owner will be able to use these arts. The type of arts one can use changes depending on the elemental value and the combination of installed quartz. Basically, if you want to use water arts, all you have to do is install quartz with a water elemental value. In reality, orbits have such much more complex than that. In reality, orbits are much more complex than what I have described, but I think this information should suffice for now. So what is it you would like to know?
Quartz?
Quartz are circuits made from sepith. Quartz have a vast number of effects and raise the owner's abilities while simultaneously making it possible for them to use arts. However, you will not be able to harness any of these effects until quartz has been installed into a slot. However, there are also fixed slots in which only a certain type of elemental quartz can be installed. This being the case, when you synthesize a new quartz, be sure to check your orbit and decide where you will be installing it ahead of time. Sepith are fragments of septium which are dropped by monsters. They are divided into 7 types: earth, water, fire, wind, time, space, and mirage. Sepith can be exchanged for Mira almost anywhere, but at the Orbital Factory it can be used to synthesize quartz and to open orbit slots in which to install the synthesized quartz.
Looks like Mr. Maldes has answered all your questions. If there's nothing else, then let's have you both try and use the services here. For that, you're going to need some sepith. With that amount, you two should be able to synthesize a few quartz. Now I want you to begin by first making an elemental quartz that will work with each of your particular orbits. In your case, install any elemental quartz is okay, but for you, Joshua, it has to be a time elemental quartz. I keep saying corpse. Quartz. Normally at a shop you would be able to exchange sepith for Mira, but for this training you will not be able to use this service. Sorry. Telling you how to do that, which I already know. So you go to quartz. Excuse me. So for Joshua, you can only make the action quartz, which increases your speed. For Estelle, I think I'm gonna go HP because it's a water quartz, as you'll see here in a little bit. You get a healing spell. Alright, it looks like you were able to synthesize one. Next, I want you to increase the arts you can use. Now install a quartz into your ornaments so that you can use both recovery and attack arts. This is just telling you how to do that, so go to ornament. Joshua can only use action, which gives us clock up and Sorbler. And Estelle will get the HP, which gives us tear and aqua bleed. Alright, it looks like you've both got recovery and attack arts set up. If you balance your arts out between each other like you've done here, it should be dealing with monsters easier. Additionally, your bracelet notebooks contain information about which quartz allow you to use which arts. If you'd like to know more powerful arts, check out the arts and quartz charts in your bracelet notebooks and find something that works for you. Alright, our training here is almost finished. Last of all, I'm going to have you both open a new slot in your ornaments. The more slots you have available to you, the broader range of choices you'll have. Since EP, which is consumed by using arts, can have its max value increased by opening up slots, it would be a good idea to open them all early on. Now I want you to use this sepith and open a slot on each of your ornaments. Go ahead and decide which slots you're going to open. So to do that, you go over here and you talk to him. You go to slot, which is the only thing available. That uses... So I guess you can just pick whichever one. We'll do that one for her. I thought it said to do it for both of them. Did I fuck up? Maybe not. See, you managed to open one of your armament slots to sell. Since your central slot is not limited to a particular element, you are free to install any types of quartz you want. This concludes your training here at the Orbital Factory. Now it's time to move on to what you've both been waiting for, the qualification test. Yeah, that's right. Pardon? Did you just say test? You can't honestly tell me that you forgot about the test again, can you? Didn't I remind you just this morning? Now that you mention it, I vaguely remember some sort of talk along those lines at the breakfast table. Sometimes I fear for the future of the Bracer Guild and humanity. Oh well, no sense in worrying about it now. Let's head over to the testing area. You mean like now? I don't know if I'm ready for... How about a little less yapping and a little more walking? Joshua, help me! Mr. Melders, Freddy, thank you for all your help. Don't mention it, and good luck with that test of yours. We'll be rooting for you. I'm going to remember that you left me high and dry like this, Joshua. All your training has finally come down to this. Your qualification test will begin here. I expect to see you both use what you've learned up to this point. Understood. What's wrong, Estelle? Sarah? What now? I was kind of wondering, but is there not going to be a paper test or something? Did Cassius drop you on your head as a child or something? You just read what it said on the bulletin board not that long ago, right? Yeah, and? That even made you jot down what you read in your Bracer notebooks. At least you forgot that, too. I'm pretty sure the job listing mentioned searching for and retrieving an item from the sewers. Ringing any bells yet? What a relief! Oh, divine Adios, I'll give thanks to thee for thy infinite grace in bestowing upon us such wonderful gifts as sewers. So what you're really saying is that you thought it was a paper test. No wonder you were acting all crazy back at the Orbital Factory. I can already feel the nostalgia. All those horrible days stuck in a classroom are starting to feel like grand memories indeed. I'm really starting to wonder if we're even able to... I'm really starting to wonder if we'll even be able to graduate at all. What's wrong with you? Why do you have to go and say something like that when I'm trying to reminisce about positive things? Alright, that's enough jabbering, you two. This is supposed to be a test. Excuse me. How about the both of you try to at least look a little bit anxious? Just so you know, though, if you happen to flunk the test, you won't even want to imagine the kind of homework I have in store for the both of you. We'll be fine. Just tell us what you want us to do and let us loose. Well, if you're so confident, then how about proving that you're not just blowing hot air at the results of your test? Anyway, as you both saw on the bulletin board, this test will be a search conducted in Roland sewers. If your objective is to retrieve the contents of a chest which has been placed somewhere within that area. The layout of the sewers is extremely simple, so you don't need to worry about getting lost either. However, there are real living, breathing monsters down there, so if you get careless and let down your guard, you will be sorry. Also, let me give you this before I forget. 3 tear bombs and a monster guide. What's this book for? It's called a monster guide, and it's used to record information about monsters and other opponents you meet. Whenever you figure out an enemy's attributes, you should make an immediate note of it in there. Sounds pretty straightforward to me. He who controls the flow of information controls the tide of battle, right? That's exactly what I'm saying. You really got a good head on your shoulders, Joshua. That's some pretty useful advice. Thanks for the tip, Sheriff. We'll put it to good use. Alrighty then, let's get pumped and knock out this test. Let's. Don't forget though, this is an exam. We should make sure we treat it as such. Oh wow, okay, so since this is actually playing the game, but we're hitting an hour almost. I'm sorry for, like, I didn't really actually realize how long the whole beginning part was going to be. But hopefully you enjoyed it. I think my voice acting is getting a little bit better. A little bit. But, yeah, thank you guys for watching. All the usual stuff is down in the descriptions, like social media, how to get a hold of us, my girlfriend's channel, all that good stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!